cheating in video games is common as hell. In fact, the act may be as old as the medium itself. Some undoubtedly use the "what's that over there" trick while taking a friend on in Pong. And who never put the light gun right up against the TV to shoot the ducks in Duck Hunt? Who never once gave in to that temptation?
I would never. I want to win.
That type of cheating can be relatively harmless. Where it becomes more problematic, though, is when you get into competitive situations, such as with online multiplayer. Add money to the mix and you open up a whole new can of worms. That's when the FBI might get involved, as it has recently with the Counter-Strike Global Offensive scene.
3, 2, 1. Engage. Bring it on.
In an interview on the /32 YouTube channel, Ian Smith, the head of the Esports Integrity Commission, got into the nitty-gritty about an ongoing investigation in the world of professional CSGO. According to Smith, his group is now working with the FBI to look at alleged match fixing taking place in the North American Mountain Dew League, often referred to as the MDL. What makes this revelation all the more fascinating is that Smith claims players aren't hatching these schemes themselves. They aren't collaborating with one another in order to take a few losses and split the earnings. Instead, Smith says some players are, quote, being bribed by outside betting syndicates in order to fix matches. In that regard, what's happening in the MDL isn't unlike a rigged boxing match, where a fighter might be paid to take a dive. Because there's an active betting scene around pro Counter-Strike matches, and because the competition now appears to be influenced in some way by outside money, the FBI is on the case. This likely means all involved in the match fixing could face some incredibly severe penalties as a result. Not the kind where they'll be forced to fight their way out of the gulag. Wait, that's that other game with the cheaters. No, real actual jail could be a potential outcome for some of these pro players and those allegedly funding them. Smith, for the record, says he has evidence ready to share, and could possibly do so in the weeks ahead. With the FBI now involved, however, it could be weeks before he's able to make that information public. There's no telling how this will ultimately shake out, and how the Mountain Dew League might be affected going forward. In the meantime, some pro Counter-Strike players in the MDL may want to find themselves some lawyers.
Objection!
If you've been thinking of downloading cheats before your next Call of Duty Warzone match, you may want to think again. A new report from Activision has revealed how hackers are seeking vicious malware onto players' computers by pretending that they're providing cheat programs for Warzone.
You sneaky son of a...
As explained by Activision security officers, hackers have been advertising cheating tools on multiple Call of Duty forums. These hackers have told Warzone players that their cheating software is, quote, free, newbie-friendly, and effective, thereby increasing the number of curious users who might want to download the program in question. In reality, the software acts as a remote access Trojan, which allows the hacker to access the systems of their target. With this approach, hackers have been able to remotely upload further viruses, some of which can be used to obtain players' personal information.
Look, you want to be elite? You got to do a righteous hack. None of this accidental.
According to Activision's report, many of the posts advertising these types of cheats also request that interested parties disable any antivirus programs that they may be running. Activision points out, the hackers' suggested method for convincing the victims to disable their protections is made significantly easier by advertising their RAT as a video game cheat. It is common practice when configuring a cheat program to run it with the highest system privileges. Once a Call of Duty player has taken down those important protections, their system is wide open for attack. Players might not even realize they've downloaded a virus until it is too late.
Spread this video to all your friends, because it's a computer virus.
The most insidious aspect covered in Activision's report is how hackers have coordinated these attacks on Warzone players. Activision included numerous screenshots of hacker message boards, wherein users have bragged about their conquest and suggested methods of subterfuge to one another. Some have mentioned spreading these cheats as an easy way to make money off of Call of Duty fans. Hacking has been an issue with Warzone ever since the game launched. Although Activision has attempted to curb this issue by suing third-party sites selling cheats, Warzone hasn't been able to fully shake its hacker problem. The issue has become so widespread that pro players like Nick Merckx have urged the developers to do more about it. Some high-profile players like Dr. Disrespect have seemingly given up on the game altogether.
I just have to uninstall it. Like, get it off my system right at this point, get it off my system.
Hopefully, this report shows that Activision is getting closer to solving this complicated mess.